Quarterbacks as you go through the camp here?
Well, you know what? We're in a competition, right? So you grade everything. What's it take to be the starting quarterback? Not only here at Pitt, but generally anywhere. Which quarterback is going to make the best decisions? You got to be able to complete the ball. You got to minimize turnovers. So, every period that we're in, we're grading it, we're evaluating it.
What have you seen from the two guys competing for the job that made you look twice and say, wow, that's pretty good?
Well, I tell you what, man, we got a great quarterback room. So impressed with Nick and Keaton and the other guys. They're competing every day. It's a healthy competition. It's positive energy. They're helping each other on and off the field. And, like we just talked about, we got to grade and evaluate every drill. And, we'll see where it falls.
Do you have the requisite mobility that college quarterbacks seem to need these days?
Oh, absolutely. We want to play in the pocket first and then the scramble phase second. They're both very good players. They're good athletes and they have good mobility.
How do you foresee using the three running backs this year? Last year they kind of split carries, Izzy, Vince, and Rodney. Do you see the similar rotation, or are you expecting one bell cow to step up and take the job?
Well, I tell you what, we're really fortunate because we have an outstanding running back room. Coach Powell's done a great job. We got Izzy, we got Rodney, we got Vince, we got Daniel Carter. Let's not forget about him. And then we brought Sibo in from ND. It's going to be competitive. If one guy steps up and shows us that he is the guy, then hey, maybe we'll have one guy with the bulk of the carries. Until then, we're very lucky to have a running back room that can do it by committee.
You mentioned Daniel Carter. He's kind of played more of the fullback position since he's been at Pitt. Is that how you envision using him this year?
But I tell you what, he's versatile. First off, he can be that big tailback, and he can be that fullback type. So, Daniel's going to have some pretty good roles this upcoming season.
What is it like having a guy like Nick at quarterback who's been in the program for so long, has relationships with guys, and has that respect in the locker room already, built over years?
Oh, it's awesome. Because the players believe in him, they like him, they know he's a competitor. It's great to have guys like that.
Frank, that said, Jared Wayne really taking a step from a leadership standpoint. What have you seen? I know this is early on, but off-season drill is just coming into the first day. How has Jared Wayne matured in just the time that you've seen him?
I've seen the entire offense mature. We had a great practice today. You can see that's a tribute to the summer program and the work that they did this summer. Obviously, Jared's been here. He's a veteran. You can see his leadership. You can just see that, he's a high character, high motor guy. It's just great because he does bring great leadership to the offense.
Frank, as you know and we know, you've coached a lot of successful tight ends that have had success in your offense. What excited you when you got this job about Gavin? And then since you've gotten to know him more over the last couple of months and starting now, what excites you that you can have a really special year, a special career moving forward?
Well, Gavin's a hell of a player, right? When you look at tight ends, you look to see, one, can they play in all three phases? Can they play in the running game, the passing game, and the protection phase? Gavin's very versatile. He can play in all three phases. You can line him up in line, you can line him up off the ball, and he can create the matchups outside. So, we're really excited about how we're going to use Gavin this season.
Coach, for fans who are now just starting to focus in on what's going on as we get closer to opening the season, how would you explain your offensive philosophy and how this team's going to image your mission?
Well, first off, we want to do whatever it takes to win. We want to be multiple personnel groupings. We want to be able to put our players in a position to be successful. We would love to be balanced in terms of run-pass. Every game's a little different. Based on how the game plays out, ultimately we'll have to see what personnel groupings we play with, whether we're balanced, run-pass or not. Football's a situational game. We're very situational driven. Third down, red zone, 2 minute coming out. But at the end of the day, we want to put our players in a position to be successful. and do whatever it takes to win.
Frank, what kind of advantage do you think it gives you guys to have the experience along the line that you guys will?
Oh, wow. You know, what an advantage to have a group that Coach Borbley and AO have trained so well. They've played together. They believe in each other. You know, they are tough. They are smart. And, yeah, I mean, I think it gives you a comfort level. I think it gives you a belief, because if you can dominate the line of scrimmage in both phases, the running game and pass protection, it gives you a huge advantage.
Frank, going back to even before you took the job, when you were talking about taking the job, what kind of emphasis has there been from Coach Narduzzi to make more balanced offense and more of a running game offense than what was last year?
Well, that's who I am. I don't feel anything came from Coach Narduzzi. The only thing Coach Narduzzi asked was to put us in a position to be successful. You know, we have an offensive system in play here, just like we had last time I was here. We believe in being balanced. We believe in putting our best players on the field. And we want to do whatever it takes to win football games.
Coach, when it comes to deciding on the starting quarterback, Coach Narduzzi talked about making the rest of the locker room feel like they're the guy. In your opinion, what are those qualities that are necessary for a quarterback to show that he's the guy?
You know, it's pretty simple, and we talked about this earlier. Quarterback's got to be able to make great decisions. Great decisions in the passing game. He's got to make the correct decisions in protections and run game. You've got to be able to complete the ball. So you got to be a great decision maker. You got to be an accurate passer. You got to be able to protect the football.
We were able to work with the guys a little bit more this summer, right? With I think there were hours in the summer with COVID.
Yeah.
How helpful was that coming in? Obviously, you had spring ball with them, but to work with them through.
Man, I think we saw today it was really helpful. You know, the players did a great job on the field. You could see that they played fast. They knew what they were doing. You could see the fundamentals and techniques show up on the field. You know, from where we were at the end of spring to where we are today, man, we are way ahead. And that's a tribute to a great summer program.
Frank, in your experience, not necessarily the ACC or anything like that, but you win a championship, do you notice teams the next year maybe defending you differently, getting a different version of an opponent? Maybe they're, I don't know, more on top of details or whatever. They look better than they do on tape. You know, how do you handle stuff like that when it happens? If you
Say that one more time.
So do you notice a team like coming off the championship year, like Pitt is? I know you were here, but like you notice a team playing you guys differently. You get a different version of them on the field than maybe how they look on tape.
No, I think when you game plan and you study who you're playing, teams don't necessarily change. You know, so you still got to plan for who they are.
Your family's been on both sides of this of the Pitt West Virginia rivalry.
You bet we have.
How important do you think it is for like historical rivalries like this to continue across college football when so many have kind of gone by the wayside?
Man, I would love to see it. Personally, I'd love to see Pitt, West Virginia, and Penn State play every year, as I think they should. You know, growing up with Eastern football, the backyard brawl is one of the greatest rivalries in football. You know, our family has been on both sides. As you know, my dad coached at Pitt and was the head coach of West Virginia. My brother played at West Virginia and coached at Pitt with Johnny and Walt. This is my third time here at Pitt, so we've been part of a lot of backyard brawls. And when you think back as a kid, growing up, you know, those games against Penn State, whether you were on the Pitt side or the West Virginia side, those were games you look forward to, you know. And I just think Eastern football is not the same without those games being played.
Frank, Bill Stoll tells the story about how you motivated him before the Notre Dame game in '09, walking down the hall just saying the words Jimmy Clausen. Is that something that kind of motivation, is kind of thing you enjoy as a coach?
You know what? Not really. You know, we like to have fun, and I was probably jagging with Billy a little bit. But man, I was so proud of how he played in 2009. We had a great season, we had a great team, and a lot of great memories.
Frank, just about Jared, what about the rest of the receiver room? What do Baldwin and Kanata add to that group?
Well, I tell you what, first off, Coach Underwood's done a great job developing that room. I've seen tremendous growth in them from spring to today. I think you see leadership. I think you see maturity. I think they've taken ownership of the summer program and who we are right now. Bob and Tay are very, very talented football players. You know, we got a strong group.
You have some nice weapons. Running back,
Absolutely.
wide